Well, let's get to Deshaun Watson because this story is now breaking off into maybe two stories, and we'll get to the latest developments in just a moment. But let's start with teams and Deshaun Watson. All right, reportedly, he's now considering, it looks like maybe some different teams as he tries to get out of Houston. Which are the latest teams that could be making a run at Deshaun?
Yeah, the latest teams appear to be the Denver Broncos. Apparently, Deshaun Watson would be interested in playing there. And I could see that. They have some talent at receiver, Cortland Sutton, KJ Hamler, Jerry Jeudy. They have serious talent at wide receiver, Noah Fant at tight end. You can see why Deshaun Watson might find the Broncos extremely appealing. I don't know the Broncos, what kind of trade package they could put together. They have one first-round pick this year. We'll probably have to trade one or two in future years. Maybe they do have to give up an established player like Cortland Sutton or Bradley Chubb to the Houston Texans to entice them. Also, the San Francisco 49ers are reportedly interested in Watson, and you can see why Watson would want to go there. They have an excellent running game. They have good receivers, an outstanding defense, 2 seasons removed from being in the Super Bowl. And Deshaun Watson would be a huge upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo. And Jimmy Garoppolo could be a piece that would move to Houston in exchange if a trade like that was made.
And it looks like, guys, that the Panthers are really running hard, even though Watson reportedly has said he's not interested in going to Charlotte. Is that going to be his decision? I mean, if Houston says, all right, you want to be traded, fine, we're going to trade you. I'm not sure how much power Deshaun Watson says, like Matt Stafford, no, I really don't want to go there. Okay, we'll find another place for you. But the Panthers are going hard, and it looks like they're starting with 3 first-round draft picks, including this year's number 8. They've got to add more to it. I still think Christian McCaffrey needs to be added to this deal for Houston to even pay attention to it. Ian, what do you say?
Yeah, they need to include an established player like Christian McCaffrey. I don't know if the Texans ultimately are going to be as interested in a running back as spectacular as Christian McCaffrey is and still young. Running backs tend to have a short shelf life in the NFL. Maybe McCaffrey is the exception because he's such a great pass catcher and isn't going to take the beating that some other running backs might take. But yeah, the Panthers are still alive in this deal. The Athletic talked to an NFL executive who said that the Panthers were, quote, locked in on Watson, that for David Tepper, Watson is their plan A, B, and C. So they are apparently still set on making a heavy run at Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson, I believe, can veto a trade if he doesn't actually want to go to Carolina, but we don't know that to be the case. The news on this changes all the time. I mean, when all of this started, there were reports that Watson wanted to go to the Jets or the Dolphins, who, not so coincidentally, had the best trade value in terms of being able to give up picks. Now there are reports that he really doesn't want to play in New York. He doesn't want to go to Miami. So, you do have to take some of these rumors not too seriously, or at least that so much is getting thrown out there. But the Panthers do appear to be making a move here. They have $30 million in cap room after releasing players like Trey Boston, and they restructured Christian McCaffrey and Shaq Thompson's contract. So they have the room. I mean, they still have a lot of other positions that they need to fix through free agency and the draft. But with that kind of cap room, you got to think that they are setting themselves up to make a run at Deshaun Watson being able to fit his salary under the salary cap.
Is there any chance Deshaun Watson stays in Houston? Like I said, I look at the Houston Chronicle today. They feel like no way that they're going to have to trade him. But is there any chance you could see him staying in?
If he really wants to go, and it sounds like he does, I don't think you want to saddle a first-time head coach, a first-year head coach, and a first-time head coach in David Culley with a situation like Deshaun Watson. Now, the Texans also made a move this week that raised a lot of eyebrows that said, okay, maybe they are preparing to trade Deshaun Watson. They signed Tyrod Taylor as a quarterback. Now, you could say Tyrod Taylor could be the starter in Houston if they trade Deshaun Watson, or Tyrod Taylor is also a very good backup if they want to bolster that position. But if you're Nick Caserio, the new Houston Texans general manager, I think you at least have to start making some calls and see what the best offer is. And
wow, the drama just continues to build with this story. And now here's another level of drama. And Ian, I want to get your thoughts on these sexual assault allegations. Now it is 3 women that have stepped forward. I think there's more that may be ready to do so. How is this going to impact, if at all, teams going after Deshaun Watson with this kind of controversy now swirling around him?
Well, it certainly increases the due diligence that teams are going to have to do, background checks, vetting, et cetera, that they're going to have to do on Deshaun Watson. I mean, you certainly don't want to make a blockbuster trade like that and then suddenly find out that Watson wouldn't be available. I'm sure the NFL is involved as well as investigating these charges if they prove to be true. I know there's some skepticism as to these civil suits. The Houston attorney that is alleging these lawsuits, he's making these allegations and saying that the lawsuits are being filed. He's doing it on Instagram. He says he doesn't want to prosecute through the press, yet that seems to be exactly what he's trying to do. I mean, not to say that these women shouldn't be believed and these allegations have to be investigated. I mean, these do have to be taken seriously. I don't want to make it sound like that's not the case, but it does seem like this attorney is being a little publicity hungry, but maybe he's doing that to ramp up public pressure on Deshaun Watson. But Watson and his lawyer said that he rejected a 6-figure settlement demand. So was that sort of an attempt, like, hey, pay us this money, we'll keep this out of the press? Are they just after money, or did they give Watson a chance to get out of this? This attorney also says that there are as many as 6 cases that exist against Watson. 3 lawsuits have been filed. So there could be more trouble coming, and again, I think these allegations do have to be taken seriously and investigated.
Indeed. I mean, and I will, let's hold back on opinion on this until this has been investigated, and let the investigators do their job. The attorney you're talking about, and just how the kind of attorney he is, it reminds me a lot of Michael Avenatti, who was Stormy Daniels' attorney, and he was a hotshot, big mouth, and loved nothing more than to be in front of the camera, and he turned out to be a fraud. So you got to be real careful that we don't just believe this guy and right off the bat, and that if the investigation takes place, Deshaun Watson gets a fair investigation, and that the women who made these accusations, that they are being heard in all of this as well. It's crazy what's going on. Deshaun, it just shifted just like that.